It's been over 12 years since we've gotten a standalone Superman movie in theaters, and now James Gunn is stepping up to the plate and taking a crack at injecting his signature style into this larger-than-life character. So did he hit another home run here, or is this thing already dead on arrival? Let's talk about it. Superman is the first movie in the brand new DC universe, and it tells the story of the Man of Steel needing to reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as reporter Clark Kent. As the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way, he soon finds himself in a world that views these attributes as old-fashioned. So I'll be completely honest here, I don't actually have that much of a strong relationship with the Superman character, definitely not as much as I should at least, because I've seen everything that involves the Henry Cavill version of the role and liked what he brought to the table, but that's pretty much it. You know, I'm usually a fan of the superheroes who wear their undies on the inside of their costume and not the other way around, but I don't discriminate. In all seriousness though, we're all well aware that this isn't just any old superhero movie we're getting here. This is kicking off the brand new DC universe. I mean, the stakes couldn't be higher after plenty of countless attempts at trying to knock Marvel down a peg and create their own connected movie powerhouse. Like, this film can't just be okay if it's gonna launch a new era for this studio and get fans super invested. So the pressure is on. And when I sat down to watch this movie, I was hoping for something that was really gonna flip the genre on its head and give me a wildly fresh experience, and it wasn't able to achieve top marks in both of those departments, but it's definitely a good first entry to base the DC universe around. When it comes to the story they decided to go with this time, I'm glad that we're past getting so many origin stories every time we get a new iteration of a big-time superhero. I mean, how many times have we seen Peter Parker get bit by a spider and Bruce Wayne lose his parents in a dark alleyway? There are more interesting periods of these characters' lives to be explored. And Clark Kent has been operating as Superman for 3 years already in this movie, which establishes a good balance of him kind of knowing his role in society while still not being totally ready for every curveball that might get thrown his way. Watching him do his thing is a lot of fun, but it's not a solo mission for very long. Like, there are so many characters in this movie that I thought the credits were gonna have to be split into two different parts. You're gonna feel like you walked into a speed dating event for the DC universe or something. The pacing of the first act gave me exactly what I wanted, making it feel like you got thrown right into the middle of a Saturday morning cartoon, but then it gets a bit too crowded for its own good. There's definitely a fair share of exposition dumping that comes along with that, which I don't think was really necessary. Maybe it's because Gunn wants to gear the film towards a younger audience, but the script overly holds our hands at times when we could have figured out what was going on without it. When it comes to the performances, I was pretty excited to see what David Corenswet was capable of and what he was going to be able to bring to this larger-than-life role, because I really liked him in Pearl, I didn't like him in Twisters, so I didn't know what to expect from him here. And he does a good job as the center of this film, giving us this likable Boy Scout version of the character that we're not used to seeing in recent years, and having solid chemistry with Rachel Brosnahan, who plays as Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult is one of the most underrated actors we have working today, but I wasn't really sure how he was going to handle this more villainous role. I usually like when he's kind of pathetic and self-deprecating, and I did find him to be pretty one-note here, which is what was on the page, but it got a little bit stale after a while. I've always had a soft spot for Nathan Fillion, even though he's sporting a bowl cut only a mother could love as the Green Lantern in this movie, but he's so good at playing a sarcastic and self-righteous pain in the ass, and that trend continues here to great effect. It's hard to establish a ton of chemistry between all of these characters though, since seriously, everyone and their mother is in this thing. We have to dedicate a little bit of time to talking about the actual tone and the vibes of this movie, because it's been pretty obvious for a while now that James Gunn's version of Superman is a goofy and colorful comic book movie. That's obviously a massive departure from what we were getting before this with the vision Zack Snyder had for the character. Like, Krypto probably would have been a roided up pit bull in that version if we're being honest. But what we get here visually kind of feels like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and that's one of the biggest compliments that I can give. It feels like it all jumped right off of the page of a comic book. James Gunn is a director who has made a lot of stuff that I've really liked, especially in the superhero genre, and he's always had this this vibrant and cosmic feel to his work. He must have felt like a kid in a candy store with this one, because Superman gives him so many opportunities to flex that muscle. It just lends itself pretty naturally to what he was already doing. Maybe he leans into the humor a little too much from time to time, which can undercut some of the film's more dramatic moments, but that feels a little more right at home in a Superman movie that has a lot of heart and is going for a more hopeful feel this time around. Overall, guys, Superman is a solid jumping off point for the DC universe. The visuals are absolutely brimming with color, it's entertaining from beginning to end, Krypto and Green Lantern provide consistent laughs throughout the runtime. It definitely suffers from having way too many characters flying around and dishing out more exposition than necessary, but David Corenswet brings an innocent and compassionate tone to the character that makes him very easy to root for. Despite its flaws, I'm looking forward to whatever comes next. Superman gets a Sully score of 3.5 stars. So that's my review of the first DC Universe film. What's the best superhero movie of the last 5 years? I think I have to go with The Batman from Matt Reeves, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.